So we're going to do this. Probably going to take a bit because there's a bit to talk about. This is just for anybody who's interested in listening and has any clue about what I'm going to be talking about this. And these, in general, and specifically this one, I guess. Um, Internet idiots. We'll start with that one. If Fred watches this, he'll go, those stupid idiots on the internet. So I posted about trading the guitar that I traded for this one at the store today, which was a 2015 made in the custom shop CS8. So what that is, they only made it that year. It was considered a custom shop 58 standard, not a reissue 58 standard. I did not know this until a few years later. Well, it's been a few years. Let's see, 16 is when I got it. It was a year old. And I thought it was just like a regular R8. That's what I thought. And then I went on some forum and was reading up and it was like, oh, it doesn't have a long neck tenon. Now, there's people that say, what the hell is that? So that's the joint. If you take this neck pickup out, you'll see where the neck comes to, like this or whatever. But then there's another part of wood that goes, I don't know, about right here, I guess. And it's supposed to improve the sustain, I guess. Whether or not it does, don't know. But it's historically accurate. The CS8 didn't have it. It's that piece of wood is not there. It's just not there. If you take that neck pickup out, you see that's not there. Is that worth however much more money? I don't know. Let's see. There's something. Let's see. They originally used hot glue in the 50s to hold the neck in to the body, the top onto the body, and the fretboard onto the body. This one has all three areas. I'm pretty sure it does because they started putting it all over in 15 or 16, I believe. See, in 15, those CS8s came out, and they also had for the first time they were called True Historics. And there was a 57, a 58, 59, 60, probably a 56, and a 54. I'm assuming they made a 57 custom too. I'm not sure. But anyway, they cost more than the regular reissues. So then there was also the regular reissues like this one. Then the CS ones, which were not like the reissues, but they charged the same price for them. Yeah, that's right. Now, the CS ones did have these custom bucker pickups. The tuners the same. Clusons, or Cluson, however you want to pronounce it. Aniline dye, like the originals had, and it bleeds onto the binding over time. The one that I got rid of, it was bleeding. It was like really red all along here. This one's, it started to. It'll do it. The longest one's only 2 years old. The other one's 8 years old. So it's had more time to do that from where you do this. Anyway, and so when the individual that I know that bought this back in, I think he got it back in April. That's Fred Lewis. And I played it then. I was like, this is the best R8 I've ever played. I'd love to have the thing. And I knew immediately, I was like, man, that kills that one I've got at the house, the CS8. I just called it an R8 anyway, which it wasn't an R8. It wasn't. It had on the back of the headstock, it had CS8, and then the serial number. This one has R8, blah, 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 like the originals had too. Think. So, after a while, I was like, I want a reissue. I want a real one. But, I was reading in these forums, like, people are, like, going off about, Gibson, stupid that they made these things. What was the point in making them? It was like, why did they make them? You had the regular reissues in like these, and then the true historic ones, which were more accurate and cost more. And then they were like, well, we're just going to make these too, but we're going to charge like $4,000 some dollars or new, or maybe $5. It was something like that. And I was like, you're not putting stuff on them like the other ones you're doing, but you're charging like that much. And I don't understand what the deal was. 2015, they did stupid stuff anyway, which anybody that knows about Gibson knows that 2015 was a stupid year for them. Stupid stuff. Robo tuners, those things are stupid. The headstock font, they changed it. It's stupid looking. Let's see, they added a brass nut, which actually was, not bad. I don't think that's really a bad thing. You could adjust it too. With a little screwdriver, you could raise it or lower it. What else? Oh, and the wider neck, which don't care for that either. So for the most part, 15s were just stupid, really. And you could count those CSs as another example of stupid decisions that they probably made in 15. But, I was reading in the forums that people are like, can't get rid of this thing. I've tried to sell it for less than, I can't get anybody to buy it. I'm stuck with it. And I was like, well, will I ever be able to get rid of mine? And but I was able to do it today. And Ron took it in on trade, and he gave me a good price on it. I didn't think, when I spit out what I was, he's like, what do you want for it? And with me, it's always, oh God, what's Mitchell going to say? And so I was like, 35. And he's like, that's about what I was thinking. You're okay with that? And I go, yeah. I was surprised. And so I only paid like $7 difference between them, $700 and cash. And so this one was 42, well, 41.99. But anyway, and so this one is only 2 years old. New, this one was probably 5,000, I think. The new ones now are 52.99, so about the same, a little less probably. But and I posted this thing up in a couple of the Gibson groups, and a number of the people, you got had, you don't know what you're doing. I'm like, internet idiots. I know what I'm fucking talking about when it comes to this shit, for the most part. And I knew, this guitar is on another level compared to the other one. I mean, the resonance, unplugged, is just, it's not close. This thing is like way more, I don't know how I describe it, jangly. It's just more lively. The other one just was not like, these strings, I don't even know how old these strings are. I don't know if they're still the ones that were on there when Fred had it, or this guy that we know bought it. Oh shit. And because I wanted to trade for it then, and Ron, the owner, was like, no, I'm gonna sell that. And I was like, nah. And so this guy we know bought it, and I was like, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. And it was last week when I walked in there it was. I was like, you got to be kidding me, it's back. And I was like, I wish I'd known beforehand. I would have brought the other one with me. But that's okay. It must have been meant to be, because it was there all week and still there today. And I could have went out there during the week. But, like I said, it plays better too. It's like, these are, I think, the same gauge strings, tune standard that's on the other one. And it's just like, I don't know, it's like bending rubber bands. The other one plays pretty good, but it's not like this, which is important, by the way. It's like people don't understand it. A number of the people on those 2 pages that I posted, like, the top on the other one's nicer. It is. It's got more flame than this one. It's got more figuring, I guess you'd say, like mineral streak things. This one is a little more plain, but it's not totally plain. Other than that, that's all it is to it. This is got all the more historical stuff to it, if you care about that. I kind of do, I guess. To me, if you're going to pay the money, you might as well get, something that has all the specs that are, pretty close to the originals from the 50s. And, the only difference really would be this does not have Brazilian rosewood fretboard. You don't want to know what those cost. They want like $15,000, $20,000 for them because it's like a hard to get wood, or it's endangered or something like that, whatever. So they can't really get it a whole lot or use it. But when they do, they charge a crap load for the instruments. They don't make many of them. It's always a limited run of however many with Brazilian rosewood fretboard. Let me think it. What else? So the bodies on the originals was Honduran mahogany. This is African mahogany. So I guess if you think about it, Honduran mahogany could also not necessarily come from Honduras. Does that make sense? I guess that's possible. And still be considered Honduran mahogany. Whatever. This one's lighter than the other one. The other one is probably, I'd say it's about 9.5 pounds, which is not heavy for a Les Paul, but to me, that's kind of heavy for a custom shop, like a 58 kind of 59, 60 kind of deal. This one is not even 9 pounds. It's definitely under 9 pounds. It's pretty damn light. That's what you want, though. These are supposed to be, they're not supposed to be 9 pounds. Honestly, they're supposed to be under. The 59s are always going to be the lightest, I think. And then I guess would probably be the 60s next, right? And then the 58s. I guess that's where they use the wood. And then you go down the line. Like my black custom that I got earlier in the year. It's custom shop, but it's a regular custom. So it's a little weighty. It's over 9.5, I'd say, but it's not 10. Now the reissue 57 customs, they're generally lower 9s. Here and there you can get one under 9 pounds. But, so is that all there is to it? Yeah, just, people, they don't know what they're talking about. I made a good deal. I'm pretty confident I did. If the only difference is, when you compare this one and the other one, if the only thing that you can say that's better about the other one was it has a little more figuring in the top, yeah, I think I came out on top, so to speak. And the same pickups. These custom buckers are, they're pretty good. I've never played a guitar with real PAFs that I can think of. I've strummed one. I strummed a 57 custom, a real one out at Guitar Center in California back in 2007, and they had $100,000 on the price thing. And the guy was like, well, you can play it. I was like, well, I'll just strum it a bit. You want to plug it up? I was like, nah, I'm actually scared to fucking touch it, to tell you the truth. Because I was like, I had one thing and they're like, mess it up. And they're like, well, guess who's paying for that? I'm like, well, not at this time. We'll have to get back to you on that. But, yeah, of course, it had real PAFs in it. It was all original, I'm pretty sure. For 100,000 it probably was, but I think this thing sounds even plugged up at the resonance. It has like a, you can hear something different as opposed to the other one too. And get this. So these aren't high gain pickups. They're reads 8 in the bridge, and I don't know, 7 something in the neck. The output, that is. So they're not like metal pickups, but they still sound good. I'm kind of starting to shy away from that. I got guitars that have pickups that are 15K or 16K in the bridge, and this is okay. was that we were doing it, Fred? So yeah, it's weird because I was thinking about the Nash that I was gonna get, that Telecaster, and then I balked at the last second. It was like something was like, no, don't do it, don't do it. I don't know why, but it's almost like something was like, there's something else that's coming. Don't worry about that one. This next thing coming up is what you want to do. That was what, 2 weeks ago, and then I walk in there last Saturday, and I was like, what is that on the stand? Is it? You got to be kidding me. And I was like, Billy brought it back. Yes, he did. I was like, I got to get it now. I'm going to get it. And Ron let me do it. So hopefully somebody will buy the other one. It probably won't last long, and they'll like it. And it's a good guitar, and it is. It's just, it's not a reissue. It just don't play like this one does, and it just doesn't sound like it. You know, I don't know. Fred, I'm assuming that the pointer things are in the case. Did you take them off? I know that I'm sure this came with pointers on the dials. I think they're in that little manila envelope thing. Is that right? Anyway. Something like that. I don't know that tapping part. I never figured it out. That's Sepultura, by the way. But anyway, so yeah, there's the rundown on this thing. And it probably won't go anywhere anytime soon. I mean, I kept the other one 9 years. 8 years. 8 years, that's right. So, this will probably be... I always wanted... I kind of wanted an R8 before I wanted an R9. So, I guess the R9 will be next. But I'm at the point where everything I've got is... I can't trade for anything really anymore. So, I'm probably going to have to buy one. God, they cost a lot of money. It'll have to be... I mean, the best way to buy that stuff, I think, is buy used. I mean, you know... They get new ones out there at the store, but you don't want to know what they cost. One was like $9,000 and one was $8,000, I think. And there was a guy that came out there and he bought both of them at one time, if I remember. This was last year or early this year. He bought both of them at one freaking time. But, you know, why buy them new? Just try to get you one that's like a year or so used. Year-old, you know, used. And I saw that little, what's his name? The little guy, anybody seen him? He's missing his ear and he plays in a band. And he was playing Deuce today, and he wasn't playing that intro right. It's like... He was going like... That pause in there, I was like, no, it's not right. I shouldn't be nitpicky like that, but I can't help it. But I mean, he's a pretty good little player. I think he's only been playing like 2 years, but he's picked it up pretty good. He does good. And I don't know about naming your band after yourself like that. Pete's Diary. I guess he's a humble little dude. Whatever. I'm sure at some point there'll be some infighting. The other guys will be like, "Hey man, let's change the name, huh? Naming the band after yourself." And that might not happen. They might go on to superstardom. But he does, listen to good stuff and what have not. So, he's on the right track. So, I mean, there's a rundown on this thing. How long has it been running my mouth? 21 minutes or something, is that right? Got to put on the readers. 21:33. Yeah, well, anyway. Well, there you go with that. Off there. And, won't fool with another CS. I mean, I'll never see another one again after that one sold it. Unless somebody brings it back, I'll never see another one again. Whatever. It's what it is. I didn't honestly think I'd be able to unload it. After a while of reading all that stuff, I was like, God, it's going to be interesting if I can get rid of that damn thing. I knew my only bet was probably like if I can just trade it at the store for something, that's probably might be the only way I can get rid of it. And I was fortunate to be able to do it. So, it's an odd little pattern of grouping things. But anyway, all right, so we're done with that. And so there's just an idea of the differences between that one I got rid of and this one. I mean, there are similarities, but, this is a better guitar. It's just better. It's just how it is. There's more to it than just the top. All right. So have a good night and carry on with whatever you're doing.